makes sense to try it that way, to maybe fake it. In this case, from the 15, makes 0 sense.
And now your lead's just 6-0 instead of 7-0. So they went for 2 and failed. They didn't use him on the PAT, but now he boots this one away with a 6-0 lead. This will make it into the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Houston set to take over. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, he'll set up to throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Got out of the pocket, didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
And now the throw going to Fuller, and he's got it. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They'll start the drive with Elliott. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Staying up, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
3 and out.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Throwing again is Watson. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get it out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. but what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And that will be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On second down now, it's Elliott, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
3rd down.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. There's CeeDee Lamb, his first NFL catch. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. First time that they've called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And he's going to be close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Texans' 44. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Texans 37-yard line.
Out of the gun, it's Elliott. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And that is incomplete. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
That keeps the score Cowboys 6, Texans nothing.
So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
Off to Thomas on the left side. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Let's hope it's not anything that'll keep him out of the opener. We'll be right back. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46.
There's Gerald McCoy on the tackle. Now in his first year with the Cowboys after 6 Pro Bowl appearances in Tampa and 1 good season in Carolina.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. The drive stays alive, a third down gain of 8.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Screenplay, Johnson. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Six nothing our score after 1.
With the score, Cowboys 6, Texans nothing.
Now the backup, A.J. McCarron. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. It'll be a gain of 4. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
McCarron now on 1st down, letting one go deep for the end zone. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Isaiah Coulter, the intended receiver.
And it's 2nd down.
24-yard line.
And again, it's McCarron. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. By the way, as we expected, most of the starting units out here in the 2nd quarter. So get your 2 deep, your 3 deep, your 4 deep ready for this one.
If you have a particular favorite who wasn't a high draft pick or is an undrafted free agent trying to make the team, this is the time to watch him play and give it his best shot. Because most of the starters, you're exactly right, they'll be out of the game watching the rest of the way.
He's going to go up top for the end zone. This Cowboy defense looked ready for that 3rd down pass. Brings up 4th. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3.
6, Texans 3.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Pollard. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. 1st down, and it's Pollard again. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
He's brought down at the
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run with Pollard. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
He's tackled at the 30.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd down, and they're going to try the jet sweep. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. That'll bring up 4th down after back-to-back-to-back 3-yard pickups.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll run for it with Pollard. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Jordan Thomas, 38 yards. And the Texans have taken the lead.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Ka'imi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Now it's Wilson. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Run for Pollard. He won't go down. Zach Cunningham, the leading tackler in the AFC in 2019, is there defensively.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Pollard. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. He swallowed him up. Dalton sets up play action. Airing it out deep for Smith. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there,
Catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
First and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Now we'll look at Keke Coutee as he and the rest of the offense gear up to go again. Second quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part, but they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers would tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect them to stay silent for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Running from the gun, Johnson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Johnson the intended target, and it's third down. From the gun, it's McCarron. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Down at the 26.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
It'll be a handoff to Pollard, and he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on fourth down. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Now a give here to Pollard, and he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Give them the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league. No question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
He was brought down by Ross Blacklock. 1 yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On 2nd and 9, Dalton. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. 3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. Gonna look deep for Wilson. That's gonna be knocked away and incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. And with a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try to throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now A.J. McCarron and the offense heading back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. 7 yards, the pickup there. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. McCarron. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
McCarron going to try and throw on 3rd down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Gets through, and now an opening. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st down, McCarron. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw it with A.J. McCarron. He's going to let it go again. And that is caught. Touchdown.
Texans. Isaiah Coulter, 36 yards. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. The return man, Wilson. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
21-yard line.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively.
Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
A.J. McCarron sacked. Fumble on the play. Recovered by the defense.
You know, if this is the regular season, partner, we'd be talking about just how costly a mistake that was, but probably good for him to get it out of his system right now.
Just hope for him and the team it's not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, without a doubt. Plus, you got to worry about making the team. Those types of errors don't help you.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for, but it'll be second and goal.
Second and goal.
Shotgun snap for McCarron. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal. Working from the gun here, McCarron under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, this from 34. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that will get the lead up to 14.
Cowboys 6.
So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
Take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Player spotlight time, and that player spotlight is shining on A.J. McCarron. He's had one of those games at any quarterback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
That's a gain of 5. Brings up third and 1.
And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
A gain of 3, second down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain of 13, it's a first down. On the ground, this is Johnson. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. Jalen Smith tied for 6th in the NFL in tackles last year, and on the stop there. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now McCarron. And this will be incomplete. A timeout here as we got a player shaken up, and that's Johnson who's down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Now McCarron. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
For Isaiah Coulter, incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Here's Bryan Anger now. He's been terrific so far. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. And Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Dalton and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
He'll rifle this one deep right side, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Pulled in at the 24. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
At their own 28-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can tend to play the field position game.
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. A.J. McCarron looking to throw. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. McCarron to throw once more. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now here's McCarron again. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And the Texans are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out, and the Texans push further out in front.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
This taken in about 4 yards deep. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
And it brings up 3rd down.
So Dalton now. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Excellent play there on third down. Give them 25 yards.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Brandon Dunn in on the stop.
A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Going to run again here with Pollard. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 yards there, first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he'll give it here to his running back. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
They know that old, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
And it's 3rd down.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Over the middle, complete. It's Schultz. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the result...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 22 yards. And the Cowboys get a bit closer. People always talk about one of his biggest strengths running the football, vision, and he found the spot there, went into the end zone.
You're exactly right about that, and it wasn't just the vision, right? Once he saw the gap, decisiveness, made up his mind, and about the power to finish the play. Not only did he get good blocking, he created his own space as well.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now this will make it into the end zone, and he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. A.J. McCarron on his way back out there. And do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on it. And it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Zuerlein's kick is up and through. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11.
16.
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
This will make it into the end zone. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. Uses the stiff arm. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And now they'll throw it with McCarron. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
And McCarron will try again on 2nd. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
20-yard line.
The Cowboys about set to take over on offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Here's Pollard again. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. but how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
A 6-yard pickup.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports.
27, Cowboys 16.
On 2nd down and 4, Dalton. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
And it's 3rd down.
Dalton off play action. And that's caught by Smith. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give them 25 yards. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. They'll keep it on the ground. Pollard. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Only gets a yard, but it's enough to set him up 1st and goal.
At the 7-yard line.
On the draw, it's Pollard. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising. They wanted people getting to the ball as fast as possible. The lighter, shiftier defensive backs allow you that opportunity.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Now here's Pollard. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Cowboys trot out Greg Zuerlein from the right hash at a bit of a tight angle.
A 19-yard attempt.
And Zuerlein's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game.
27, Cowboys 19.
All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Fielded in the end zone, and he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Anthony Brown there on the tackle. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
And incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Here's McCarron to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield equally good.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out now joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the two-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Dylan Cole. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, that puts a little bit of a wrinkle in their comeback bid.
Yeah, everything had turned around for them, hadn't it? I mean, things were now going their way. But you did mention it's a wrinkle in their comeback bid. It's not the death knell for them by any stretch, but now they've got some extra work to do in order to climb all the way back.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead. Quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
On 1st and 10, here's A.J. McCarron. This one brought in by the 6'5" tight end Waring. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
At the Cowboys, 21 yards.
McCarron. Open man is QT, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup at 13 sets them up 1st and goal. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Dontari Poe marches in for the sack.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
McCarron on 3rd and goal. And that will be incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will bump the lead up to 11. So that's a big one. Obviously, Charles makes it a 2-score game. His 3rd field goal of the game, able to knock it through.
Yeah, not exactly free and clear yet, but as a defense, you get to play a little bit looser, don't you? Because you do now have a little bit of a margin of error, don't you?
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Getting ready to go again. Here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Dalton and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. From the gun, he'll set up to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Ross Blacklock in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man. The Texans here on third down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Dalton sets up play action. And that is incomplete.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Mike McCarthy took the gamble, didn't pay off. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. McCarron now on first down. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Now Johnson trucks through him.
Oh, man, right through him.
And for a second straight play, that Cowboy defense gets him to the ground behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On third and long, it's McCarron. That's going to be caught by Coulter. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
The score, Texans 33.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the fourth.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
10-10 at their own 21-yard line.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Play action now. Dalton. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Murray. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
The 49-yard line.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The previous run good for 9. Here's second and a yard.
Brings up second and a yard.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run pass option. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting one more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was. And now it's third down.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. Nothing doing on second and third down after that 9-yard gain on first. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Looking here for Smith downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Batting that one free defensively was Lonnie Johnson.
They're down 2 scores, and they need a quick one to try and get back into this one. That was one way to try and get it done. Unsuccessful in the attempt, but they have no choice but to keep trying.
He's going to go up top again. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. Hey, you're at the point in the game right now where you got to start taking some chances, and that chance paid off.
And it's a good idea to be that aggressive because, truthfully, the defensive guys, they're just playing not to make a mistake. That often means you can make a big play against them.
2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. He's at the 30, 10, and they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now it's Wilson. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Dallas offense back out onto the field. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Dalton and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Dalton right back on the horse after the pick six. Now he'll let it go deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. He's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
Oh, it's real easy to celebrate the throw there, but this was all about the protection because he had all day to sit back, survey the situation, and then really step into that one. He wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of his offensive line, though.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Dalton bootlegs out. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
It's 2nd and inches.
Play action here with Dalton. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown from 19 yards away. And the Cowboys cut into that lead.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone, so give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
Zuerlein now for the PAT. And the lead will be cut down to 14. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down. Touchdown, Houston. Karan Higdon ready for the regular season with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Texans will extend their lead. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
And now here come the Cowboys. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
Second down and 10.
Throwing again. Dalton. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Batting that one free defensively was Lonnie Johnson. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw here, Dalton. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
I may be an analyst, but I'm also a fan. I love it when people take the big shots downfield, but he was under a lot of duress, and I think that forced the incompletion downfield. Didn't have a real good chance to find his target.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Play fake. Here's Dalton. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone.